Welcome to kavsworldtravels. If you could hit that subscribe button and help support the channel, that'd be very much appreciated. Give the video a like and hit that bell button for notifications. I hope you enjoyed the video. Welcome to my latest video. We are actually in Afghanistan. Now, a few tips just to get started. So, number one, you need to bring 2 ID photos with you to the airport because you need an ID card. So make sure you bring 2 photos with you, so 2 passport photos, so you can get your ID card sorted and go for the airport. Number 2, there's no alcohol in Afghanistan. It is actually banned. You can get cigarettes literally anyway. So if you're a smoker, don't worry about that. You can get them anyway. Number 3 is mobile data then. So with mobile data, it's roughly around about $10 for about 9 gigabytes of data. Roughly around about that. Obviously it can change from time to time. That's just a standard to go by. Number 4 then, it is the money. So it's roughly around about 75 Afghani to $1 US. The newer the note, the better rate you'll get. So a $100 note, which is old, is going to have a worse rate than a new $100 note. Also as well, the value of the note. So if you have a 50 or a 20 US dollar note, you'll get a worse rate than a $100 note. Then moving on to the clothing. Arab clothing, you'll have the long top which goes down pretty much to your trainer or your shoe. In Afghanistan it's a bit different, so you have a top like this and then you have trousers. Now with the top it goes down to probably, I don't know, around with the knees or just below the knees. Yes, it's not all the way down. Now you can get them in a proper shop for around about $20. But you're better off going to the market and getting them where you can get them for around about $5, and it's not much difference in the quality, to be honest with you. For the woman, a long standard dress, ideally black, obviously, probably the best one to be honest with you, and a headscarf as well, which is not a see-through really. Again, black's probably the best colour. So yeah, that's probably the best way to go with the clothing. And yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest with you. Any other questions about what to get, any tips of travelling, anything like that, just put it in the comments below. So 5 interesting facts about Afghanistan. Number 1 is the language. So they speak Persian, 2 different types. One is called Dari and the other is Pashto. Number 2, the capital of Afghanistan is Kabul, but the Taliban capital is called Kandahar, where most of the Taliban reside. Number 3, the Taliban took over most of Afghanistan since September 2021. Number 4, if you're a non-Muslim or a woman, you're usually not allowed to enter a mosque in Afghanistan, or most mosques in Afghanistan. And then number 5, the food is absolutely delicious here. You can get Western food, you can get local food, all different types of cuisine. So wherever you're into, it's going to be something you can eat. So yeah, that's a few interesting facts about the country. So a crazy story to start the video. We arrived at Kabul airport. We were on a group tour in Afghanistan, so we met our guide at the airport. He took us to go and see the group at the hotel. Now some of them arrived a few days earlier than ourselves, and the guy told us a crazy story what happened. So basically one of the guys in our group, he lost his bags at the airport. They contacted security, they said, no bag here, we haven't seen anything, no one's reported any missing bag, anything like that. So they said, you definitely had a bag and it's definitely gone missing. So they checked the CCTV cameras. Now what they found was one of the workers had actually taken a bag. So they actually managed to track down the worker and they said to him, why haven't you reported this as stolen? It's been 2 or 3 hours. And he said, I haven't stolen a bag, I just took it for safekeeping in case someone stole it. So they said, well, you should have reported it because it looks like you've stolen it. Now the Taliban come and by Sharia law, they actually give the opportunity to the person who's had the bag stolen to chop off the hand of the person who stole the bag. Now, obviously the guy's not a monster. He declined, obviously, he didn't want the guy losing his hand. No money was taken, nothing was stolen, anything like that. If he actually did take a penny though, even a penny, he would have had to say in it and his hand would have been chopped off. So yeah, a really crazy story to start this video off.
First it opened as a memorial to the British soldiers that died fighting the Afghans to take over this area. but then it became a cemetery for pretty much any foreigners that died in Afghanistan over the last 100+ years. There's also several memorials around the walls to fallen predominantly Commonwealth countries, but there's also Spanish, there's American, so you can go around and see the different countries that participated in the various wars in Afghanistan here, especially the most recent conflict from 2001 through to when they departed in 2021. Commonwealth War Graves Commission, and also just private people who come along. Interesting thing happened when the Taliban first took control the first time around from 1996 through to 2001. Mullah Omar, the head of the Taliban, the original head of the Taliban, who's now dead, came to Kabul once. He was staying in this building just behind us here, and he looked down into the cemetery, and he said, he came down. He goes, "Why are you taking care of the graves of these infidels? These foreigners?" And the guy says, "Well, maybe we think they're infidels, but it's not up to us to decide. Allah will decide. I'll just take care of the bodies and do my thing." And he actually left it here. Mullah Omar, that is. He's like, "Okay, seems like a rational explanation. I'll leave it to it." So it's been completely protected, luckily, even with the Taliban, despite being a British cemetery. Although they are talking about demolishing part of it for a new road to come through here. So, and he hung out with people like Allen Ginsberg, and he was part of an improv group which were called the Diggers. It's incorrectly been spelled here, Digger. That was one of his improv comedy art groups. He also owns several galleries in the United States, and he's also probably most famous for being the person that introduced hashish for the first time to the United States. He brought it from here, from Afghanistan.
And it's Billy Batman, Ben, is it?
Sorry, say that again?
Billy Batman.
Billy Batman, that's his name.
Yeah.
And he lived here for many years. Big, famous. He was the king of Kabul. He was famous. Any party, it wasn't a party if Billy Batman wasn't there. Until eventually one day he was watching a Buzkashi match, the north of Kabul. He accidentally shot his cock off and decided to overdose on heroin and ended there. So he died there, and then he's been buried here. See this one?
That's how you make it. So this is how they make the traditional Afghani ice cream. And what's it called? The ice cream?
Syria. In Persian it is called Syria.
Okay.
This is Afghan traditional Syria, which is made of.
So here's the traditional Afghani ice cream. Let's have a look, get a bit closer. So as you previously just seen, what they were just making, this is the end result.
Here, these are mainly captured Russian planes, Russian helicopters, etc. from the war in the 80s, from 1979 through to 1989, when the Soviets were here fighting in Afghanistan against the US-backed Mujahideen. And then once we've finished that, we're going to go inside. We're going to see some of the different explosives, different improvised devices, weapons, etc. that have been used in conflict here, for 100+ years. So this is the Omar Landmine Museum. Omar is a non-profit organisation that specialises in landmine clearing, education as well. It stands for the Organisation for Omar, mine clearance and Afghan reconstruction. So let's have a look around, and then we're going to go inside and continue in there. Oh, and one other story. In 2019, there was a big attack on this compound. They were targeting the television station that's also based within this compound, just over there. And we were here, this was June 2019. I was here in the start of July, and there was still the blood stains on the ground. It was really raw, yeah.
So we're gonna have a look inside of this helicopter. Let's go. Nice.
So now it is used for education purpose.
For education, okay.
Education, yeah.
Air conditioning as well. Computers.
Really a lot.
You can sit there and you can take the photo.
Cool. Inside. Back around the ear as well. All the controls. Looks like a million of them. Not too bad. Mine space,
50 grams explosives, but we let off like. But then I say even there it doesn't fix the mountain.
They just light it on the ground and they cover it like keep taking off.
This is a magnet bomb made by Taliban.
It's a suicide vest. So when they blow themselves up, all the petals go. Yeah, have a feel.
Less rather than this one.
It just goes in all directions. Wasn't it?
He said, I worked in Iraq and I discovered men like this in Iraq. He is a miner, digger, he is a miner, and he said, I took large in Iraq. But when it is shot from the aeroplane, so in 50 meters, when it far from 50 meters far when it comes to the ground, so it scattered, it bombed and scattered. It is also anti-personnel man.
Small writing this USA the set.
So that's a pen bomb.
Yep.
That's the same of James Bond. Isn't it?
شوف ده بعد كسان LU 97.
Yeah. Driving around, you might actually see it. We pass it quite regularly. People demining areas beside roads. So when we stop for.
Some lecture and some session about bomb awareness. So just so we see this one.
Don't play soccer near the bombs. Good advice.
No. Like when there is like red zones, so where there is bomb, or this is also another. If you see something like this, so don't touch. Yeah. When signs is like red, so you never go there, you never pass there. That's why.
ده صحيح القرار شكمانه يا مشتوكه صار كان زبل صار يا يكسو من فرسي
skeptic area. They're not sure. Maybe it's bound, maybe no bound, but still skeptic about it. Again, you'd never go there. But still, there are some possibilities of mines or some bomb or something like that. There is possibility there might be there or not, but when there's red, totally never go there.
These mountains, houses.
So,
There's like good areas or
so actually, so people there.
The bird market. So Ben, Balani this is, yeah?
Which one is which?
Balani, it's called.
Balani.
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 You're saying it correct.
Which one is which? From Wales,
This will be lamb.
Poland.
Then this will be chicken and beef around here. And this is it. S-A.
Like this?
Yeah. At New Year especially, they raise the green flag here.
Excuse me, people about this sakhi. Sunni people never believe about this, and this is only they are praying. They are Sunni Shia people. Sunni now, Sunni. They can come. I'm Sunni. I can come.
So you're right,
but I
yeah.
don't believe such kind. I don't go to the tomb. I don't go there. I don't touch. I don't pray for that. This is like I'm not about that because I'm Sunni. So yeah,
So this is just for Shia people, is
that's
it?
just for Shia.
Shia, yeah.
They come and they sit around and they make contribution. They throw money here. So in the New Year there's a lot of money in this area.
And what's the name of the person buried?
Sakhi.
Sakhi.
Yeah.
Sakhi. And he was the first Shia.
Yeah, he was Shia.
First Shia. Yeah.
This is the regular temple of Sakhi, Ayatullah. So people.
Right, okay, so this is where Saki's buried. Right. And he's the first Shia.
Shia.
First Shia.
Side. It's nice.
Just. So we got a little fairground by here. Afghani style. You getting on, Gav? Getting on?
Locked. You just going like Ellie was.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. You can let go. It's fine.
Yeah, of course. Daddy said faster.
Disco.
Let's go faster.
Yes. Disco.
Now reverse.
Go.
Okay.
Go.
Used to be young lovers, families, people coming on dates. Used to be a really relaxed, special, happy place. Now it's the opposite.
At that time, so many people from different parts of Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, they used to come and they had their business. They used to discuss their business meeting here. So this was the caravanserai. It's also still called caravanserai. in Persian language, and still it's famous for kavsworldtravels. So they were only discussing business and economical meeting here. So it was the first area of the garden, kavsworldtravels.
So the earliest idea of a garden being here was actually the 3rd century BC. So this area has been inhabited for a long, long time. But it took different variations. Now let's skip forward a little bit. In the 14th century, there was a man by the name of Timur Lane. Anyone been to Uzbekistan? No one's been to Uzbekistan? Oh, that's unusual. So Timur Lane was from Fergana Valley and ended up dying in Samarkand and created one of the biggest empires to ever exist. Modern day Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, parts of Mongolia, parts of Western China, one of the biggest empires of all time. After his death, the empire disintegrated as his children, as often happens, feuded over different areas. A couple of generations later, his great-grandson, Babur, was born. And Babur inherited the governorship of the Fergana Valley, which is an area in Uzbekistan. One of Timur's other descendants, Ulugh, he controlled what is now parts of Afghanistan. And Babur, after taking control of the Fergana Valley area, started invading the other areas around. He eventually took Samarkand, but in the meantime, his enemies took him from the rear and took the Fergana. So he went back to the Fergana, took Fergana, but then he lost Samarkand. And he kept doing this until eventually he set his eyes south and he went, I'm going to stop worrying about Central Asia and I'm going to start worrying about South Asia. So he marched through Afghanistan, what is now modern day Afghanistan, took Kabul, and took India, almost all of India. And so for a long time, India was under Central Asian control by the man named Babur. He died in Agra. Has anyone been to India, been to Agra? But in his last will and testament, he said, I want to be buried in Kabul. It was the most beautiful city he'd ever been to, the most beautiful place. And he wants to be buried in these gardens that he eventually built himself. So during his reign in Kabul, he built these gardens as they are now set out today. This is in the 16th century. And so he died in Agra in India, but they brought his body here. One of the other things he said is he wanted no roof on his mausoleum because he wanted to always be able to look up at the stars in the sky. So that's at the top.
Yeah, this is the original tomb of Babur. When he died in
From Agra?
India, from Agra, his son Humayun brought his dead body to Kabul. This is his son and this is his grandson. His name is Handel and his Mirza Muhammad. This one. So they are one is son and one is grandson. And the next one, she is Gauhar Nisa Begum. She was the wife of Aurangzeb. They also belong to Mongols family, right? Like 7th generation back then.
So this is where he's buried.
Is that the same place? شلون بشينا ذيك؟ This one and this.
Gemma, you're showing too much skin, okay? Just calm it down.
A small dinghy. It only takes like 7-8 minutes from one side of the river to the actually.
Salad is good for you.
Yeah.
Is that all we got? Okay. speaking, it's really hazy. But this whole area over here, you can see the huge building in the middle. You see the huge building in the middle just over there? That's the former US Embassy. Right down to another building next to it, a brown one. Sort of, what would you say, 2 kilometres just there? That was a Marriott hotel that was built inside the US Embassy compound. During the first Taliban government, so not the current one, the first one, this was used for executions.
This pool by here.
Yeah, people just, the pool without water, you just get pushed off, you're dead.
So right up on here is where the Taliban used to execute people. They push them right off here, which is high, a lot higher than it looks on the camera, and all the way into this pool. Dead instantly.
This camera is from the last 50 years. This camera, his father is using this camera. And this is the camera man, and this camera has been used.
Salam. How old is the camera?
Yes,
So it's 50 years old, the camera.
Yeah, this is 50 years old camera.
Wow.
And this is immediate camera, so you will see the process, how he does and how he makes the pictures. He is looking here, and then he used some kind of special water and special material for them, and then with some minutes, so he take your photos and he give it to you.
Okay. Is this the oldest camera in Afghanistan?
This is the oldest camera.
In Afghanistan, yeah.
That's why it's things because materials they are not available.
Yeah.
So what's the water going in for? You just poured water in the camera?
Yeah. This is special water, not like
Okay.
common water. There's some chemicals.
Chemicals in it, okay. And it helps develop the picture?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
He takes the picture.
So this is inside then. How long does the photo take to take a picture?
5 minutes.
5 minutes to take a photo, right? To develop it and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, no, mate.
Mine is so scary.
Wow, wel
Oh, it's like yours?
Yeah.
It's
really good, actually.
Photos there.
Yeah, he wants us to get out of there.
Cool.
You've seen some women?
This is the memorial to Punda, who was brutally murdered in 2015, and her body was dragged from that mosque up there to here, and that's why the memorial's here. So I told you in the car the story up until when the mob started forming. So they started beating her, the police came, fired warning shots, and dragged her into the mosque. At that point, the crowd swelled more and stormed the mosque. The police took her up to the roof. She was on the rooftop. Locals were throwing sticks and rocks at her, and she slipped and she fell into the crowd. And at that point, that's when she was dragged along the ground here to where she eventually died. So this memorial was.
And that's because they said she allegedly burned the Quran, was it?
It was alleged that she burned the Quran, the Holy Quran. Yeah. 27. Let's continue on. 4 or 25 when it was built, and to the European style. Notice the neoclassical columns, very unusual for a mosque.
Yeah, this is yours.
Stuff you find in Afghanistan.
Wrote something against Afghan tradition and their culture, and he was the first person that stood against him and wrote and answered him through writing some books.
On this is the book.
Yeah.
This is one of the books.
In community. Who wrote something bad against the culture.
Oh, right, okay.
That's why he became famous. For that.
Right, okay.
When did he move?
On September.
Perseverance. This is Chicken Street. So, back in the 60s and 70s, there was a famous travel route called the Hippie Trail. It went from Istanbul to Kathmandu. It stopped in Tehran, it stopped in Delhi, went through to Kathmandu. This was the epicenter of it. This was the spiritual home of the Hippie Trail. This street was lined with opium dens, with hash houses, anything your heart desired, you could get it here. Then with the conservative turn of Islam, which happened all over the Islamic world in the late 70s, as well as the push against drugs, which happened all over the world during the 70s, they cleaned it up. And as the hash dens and opium dens left, antique stores came in. So now this is the center of buying antiques in Kabul.
You wanted the good price.
Why you want that?
Don't know, you know, maybe. Couldn't have much there. Yeah.
Airplanes.
So that means a suicide attack.
Suicide, yeah.
Yeah,
Person who commits suicide,
suicide for
Yeah.
wedding. Oh, look at that.
Natural flowers.
South Carolina, USA.
It's VIP cars. So when people they're getting any ceremony, so if they don't have their good modern car, so they come get they rent the car here and they also decorate it.
So this yellow building was the last synagogue
Yep.
left, and then when the Taliban took over, all gone.
Below the windows, there were Stars of David in there as well. You saw a loose that only does 3D cinemas. Still like this.
So we're here at the Amusement Park in Kabul in Afghanistan. Yeah. A game zone. Good, yes. Oh, look at the cakes. Chutton kebab, special fried rice, and mutton biryani. Pistachio ice cream. Thank you very much for watching the latest video. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to hit that subscribe button and help support the channel. Give the video a like and hit that bell button for notifications. I'll see you next time.